Hello, this is Cath King, the plant-based nutritionist at Seeking Health. I'm an eco-nutritionist, and so my interest goes beyond that of a traditional nutritionist, and I felt the need today to comment on a story that has enraged people all over the world, that of the plight of Cecil the lion. Walter Palmer is a rich American dentist, and he was armed with a crossbow and attacked Cecil the lion in the dark of night. Lions are big, charismatic, wonderful creatures, but Cecil was not just a lion. In Zimbabwe, he was a celebrity among lions, a kind of mascot. Cecil was part of a research project by Oxford University, and he carried a GPS, which the hunters unsuccessfully tried to destroy. And Cecil was killed illegally. He was baited away from an area where hunting was prohibited, and he's a member of an endangered species. These are all factors that increase our anger and our indignation about this evil act. But these factors, even though they may be relevant environmentally, ecologically, and even legally, are hardly morally relevant. What really counts in Cecil's case is not that he was famous, big and strong and beautiful, or that he was a lion. What counts is that he was a sentient being, a being capable of experiencing pleasure and pain, a being who valued his own life and didn't want that to end. The only relevant trait, his sentience, is what Cecil has in common with billions of other beings who don't have names but who can suffer like Cecil did. Cecil was one animal. The other 600 lions that are killed every year can feel pain too, just like Cecil. The other poached animals are sentient, like lions. And the 180 million chickens, pigs and cows that are killed for food every day, they too can feel and are sentient. It is this capacity for pleasure and pain that connects people and animals. It is the quality that does not just connect people of different skin colour, gender, sexual orientation or religion, but which also unites human and non-human animals, or as Thomas Berry puts it, our kin of the earth community. You can experience pleasure and pain whether you are white or black, man or woman, or have an opposable thumb, or a mane or a trunk, a tail or wings. Now, to be clear, I am by no means defending what this guy did. Killing animals for fun is wrong, but so is killing them because they taste good, or their skin makes a fashion statement, or any other equally trivial reason we have for killing animals. We eat them, we wear them, and use them in all kinds of vile ways when we have absolutely no need whatsoever to do so. So why the outrage over Cecil's death? And why is there not any outrage about the over 50 billion land animals and even more ocean animals who will be killed in just 1 year to satisfy people's appetites for meat, dairy and eggs, things we do not need to survive? Why are we getting upset over the death of one lion who actually lived a pretty good life, not in a zoo or a factory farm, and so was far better off than the animals we eat? The media storm over Cecil is about an individual animal and a single species. And again, it's also about one single, supposedly evil, psychopathic perpetrator who everyone wants to kill in revenge, failing to realize that we are all him. If we eat, wear, or otherwise use animals, then we are all Walter Palmer, the dentist. We are all needlessly cruel to animals. So why this general omnivore outrage over a case of animal abuse? Why this selective outrage and what can only be described as moral schizophrenia? First, bear in mind that we are dealing with a dominant ideology that is at work in our society, that of carnism. Carnism is a term coined by Professor Melanie Joy to describe the belief system that allows us to love dogs, eat pigs and wear cows, or to criticise the actions of a dentist who kills a lion called Cecil while we eat a hamburger. And when we look at how this ideology is perpetuated, we see that ideologies such as carnism maintain themselves by teaching us not to think or feel when we follow their dictates. And one of the primary ways they do this is by using a set of defence mechanisms which operate on both the social and psychological levels. The first defence carnism has is that it's invisible. It's so commonplace that it's a given that people just accept without question. And likewise, the process of animal exploitation and slaughter is also invisible. Meat comes to us hygienically packaged in ways that show no sign of the pain, suffering, violence, and death that it took to produce it. The next way it's perpetuated is through the myths of meat, or the 3 N's of justification, that eating meat and dairy is normal, natural, and necessary. And the easiest one for me to disprove is that eating meat is necessary. There are tens of thousands of vegans around the world that prove that it's not necessary to eat these products to be healthy and happy. I'm one of them. Carnism also defends itself by distorting our perceptions of meat, eggs, and dairy, and the animals we eat, so that we can feel comfortable enough to consume them. We learn, for instance, to view farmed animals as objects. So, for example, we will refer to a chicken as something rather than someone. And we see them as abstractions, lacking in any individuality or personality. A pig is a pig, and all pigs are the same. And we create rigid categories in our minds so that we can harbour very different feelings and carry out very different behaviours toward different species. And this can be so clearly seen with Cecil. And I would argue that this might be the biggest reason that omnivores can be so horrified by what the dentist did. People are appalled because to them, Cecil is someone, not something. He had a name and a personality. But if you've ever known a dog, a cat, a horse, a pig, a chicken, a cow, you will know that they all have individual personalities as well. Cecil was not unique in this. He just happened to be given a name to go with his personality. Norm Phelps commented in his book Changing the Game that people tend to be extremely resistant to moral criticism of things they are personally doing. The only way around this is usually to expand the bounds of their ethical awareness gradually, one step at a time. Thus, most people come to the animal's cause by way of something that outrages their conscience that they are not doing themselves, like fur, vivisection, or dog fighting. As they become more committed, they can make the connection and move to vegetarianism and veganism. The reason for this, of course, is that when people are not committing the offence themselves, they can follow their fundamental moral principles without triggering the cognitive dissonance that comes when their own behaviour is challenged. And that's also why it's so much easier for people who may have stopped eating animal products for health reasons to see the ethical argument for veganism. They're no longer doing it themselves. So I'm happy personally with the Omnivore Outrage against what happened to Cecil. Inconsistent and absurd as it might be, it's the beginning of something. It's a seed of compassion that has taken root. So outrage over Cecil is a start, and I believe that we would do good in watering the seeds of compassion that we find in others. So thank you for listening, and if you enjoyed it and would like some more, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.